Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red for Anfield Index. It is Saturday, the 30th of August. Tomorrow, Liverpool play Arsenal 4:30, the Super Sunday at Anfield. It is a title rivals contest, isn't it? The day after, Monday, the 1st of September, 7 p.m., that transfer window door gets slammed shut. And if it did get shut right now, we'd probably think we were a little bit short, wouldn't we? However, we all know what we're waiting for. We're all hoping it lands today. Nothing would give me greater pleasure, people, than if it landed while we were chatting right now. There's almost a sentiment of just get on with it type of thing. But patience is a virtue, as they say. I'm your host, Dave Davies, coming to you from pretty nice Edinburgh. Fingers crossed, and I'm looking forward to hopefully a good weekend. It's supposed to be nice at Anfield as well, where I'm going on Sunday. But let's be honest, you don't really care about the weather too much. You care about everything Liverpool, all the latest stories, everything we've got for you. And we'll start from the top, which may not be where you want to be, but we've got to talk a little bit of official business first of all. And this literally, before we came on air, finally got announced. Of course, it gets leaked by various fan sites, which is good. Liverpool know their dates and kickoffs for the Champions League fixtures. So I'll pop that on screen just in case you're scrolling and following on social media, and welcome to all on YouTube, Twitter, etc. It opens with Atletico Madrid. We all kind of feel we owe them one at Anfield. I always think of that Adrian game when he let two through him like a hologram. So that is the first game. We then visit Hell, as it's known, Galatasaray. Wednesday, the 22nd of October, is a Hugo Ekitike reunion, isn't it, at Eintracht Frankfurt? Then we know who visits us. And get your booze ready for Tuesday, the 4th of November. Cody Gakpo reunion, Wednesday, November the 26th. Interesting. Inter Milan, then 9th of December, then into the new year. We finish with Marseille away and carry a bag at home. An interesting mix of fixtures there. And actually, when you look at it, they're quite well spread out, I would say, especially the first few. You're hoping for maximum points there, and it's a good spread. And if we are needing points right at the end, Marseille away, carry a bag at home. Someone said to you, and I don't think they will, but if someone said to you the Reds will need maximum points from those two games, I bet you'd back them to do it. So there you go. You can start plotting your half days at work. You can start thinking the travelling cop have got plans to make. The fixtures for the Champions League are now announced. And by the way, don't know if anyone clocked it, that opening game, we're going to play Atletico and City in the same week. Elite football is back. And Mr. 365 boy saying, morning, I thought I'd be waking up to a let's go. I know what you mean. I think we all know what you mean. Let's hope as we're going through this, something does break. But as it stands right now, absolutely nothing. Let's get into more official business then. The skipper's programme notes are out. As the strapline says there, we know you will be ready. I can't wait to see and hear you. We've not been great so far, have we, this season? You know, left it late against Bournemouth, left it very late against Newcastle in I think it was the balling contest, 40% of the play, but we'll call it a contest. VVD, the captain, making it clear everyone will be needed at Anfield on Saturday. And I won't read it you all, but just a couple of lines from it are good. Where is it? Where's the one I wanted to bring to you? There we go. Having been up against the noise and ferocity on Monday night, it will be nice to hear the other side of it. We know you guys will be ready for this one, and I can't wait to see and hear you giving us your full support. As ever, we'll look to feed off that energy, and hopefully we can give you plenty to shout about on the day. Too right. I'll be at that game, and it should be noisy. We should be well bevied up, shouldn't we, after a day looking at the other contests. But this is massive. We want to beat them so badly. And he didn't say it this time, but you know Anfield will just be a cacophony of noise. There will be red throughout it. That stadium should and will be rocking on Sunday. Won't give you all, but well worth a read from the skipper. He always just hits the right tone. And speaking of leadership, this came out yesterday evening. It was the embargo, wasn't it? 10:30 on Friday evening. Arne Slot has confirmed Andy Robertson has been appointed as Liverpool's vice-captain. And he was asked in the embargo and he said, it's Robbo. He's played so many years, won the league twice. It was Virgil, Trent, Robbo and Mo last season. Trent left. There are a lot of logical reasons for the decision. He's a very good player, plays many games, knows what it takes, knows the culture, but also the culture of the club and the dressing room. An interesting one, this. And one sort of scroll, one sort of glance across social media shows just how mixed the reactions are. I mean, to me, we have a brilliant leadership group. We've got elite leaders in terms of VVD, obviously, Mo, Alisson, Robbo, I put in that mix as well. So I'm quite happy with this. Now, I understand people, and I would have personally, if you'd asked me to have bet, I've said it before, so I can't lie, I'd have gone with Mo, just because of the standard he set on the field and everything else. But, and I don't know this for definite, I do just wonder with everything that happened this summer, you know, if that and the messages that he sent, the way he's been seen around the club and supporting offers, I don't know if that's played amidst in it. The one thing people are saying, and I understand at the same time, not going to play much this season, or you wouldn't think he would play much this season. I know Milos Kerkez hasn't had the best of starts to life, but obviously got to be given time. And there's a year left on his deal. And a few people asking that, Gerard Williams saying, could this hint at a new deal? I don't think so. I mean, Robbo at one stage was right on the doorstep of leaving, wasn't he, with Atletico Madrid? That deal was almost there to be done, but change of heart from Atletico last minute, and here we are. I don't think it matters too much. There's leaders in that room. Who has the vice-captaincy officially, I don't think matters too much for me. And if people disagreeing with that, well, look, he was the vice-captain last season. Look at his lack of leadership and look how it ended up. So that would be the key thing for me. But Robbo, the deputy to VVD. Cody Gakpo was speaking as well. And it's funny, that story's still not going anywhere, is it? About, or was it going anywhere? No one seems to verify, it's probably better to say, this Cody Gakpo contract renewal, but we'll have to see. But he was talking and did an interview, well worth a read. There's only really one bit I really wanted to call out. And again, similar to VVD, because he talks about the season so far and there's some great bits in there. But asked about being at home at Anfield, I think everybody knows how much difference our fans can make. I think they showed it through the years many times. Sometimes it feels like we've got one more player on the pitch when they are on fire. So I think every player appreciates them very much. Basically, tomorrow, the brief is to make Arsenal shit their pants, as we know they can do at Anfield. There is that hoodoo there. Cody, VVD are telling us everyone will be the same. Excited for that one. Yes, I know what you're all saying in the chat panel about certain signing. We will, of course, get to signings, but official business always takes precedence, first of all. And when an Italian at Liverpool gets called up, everyone thinks about a certain player, but maybe surprise for some. Giovanni Leone, not Federico Chiesa. Chiesa's not in the squad. He receives his first senior Italy call-up, which I think is absolutely brilliant because chance for a first cap, previously capped by them at under 19 level. And this feels a real opportunity for this kid, doesn't it? Because, I mean, the World Cup, the summer, and also he's not really playing for us, and maybe unless there's injuries, the Carabao Cup, you'd think he might not have a chance of minutes too much. So I don't like saying this because I'm never a fan of the international break, but if he does get minutes at that level, maybe it isn't the worst thing for him at all. But we'll have to see. There we go, eh? That is official business. Everyone is talking as well. I want to say everyone is talking. If I look at the articles that are out today on Anfield Index, Joe Gomez, Morgan Rogers, we've talked about Robbo, injury boost for this game. But why am I saying then everyone's talking? And by the way, I wanted to put this on screen because I probably went too early. Leone, I tell you why he's got his first call up. Look at that. Size of that boy. 18 years old. Ready to batter the fuck out of Premier League defenders. You've seen him body Vlahovic, make Lukaku his ragdoll. That's 18. 18. I was doing bonk hits and trying to get in Jenny Benson's pants. That was my aim. Look at this boy. I'm telling you, he is just one to watch. And the comments early doors have been so interesting. But anyway, I'm saying everyone's talking. Mo, if you get a chance to watch it, did a great interview with Sky Sports. And it's annoying because I can't put it on the screen and play it for you with the clips that I would love to. Because obviously we get shot down, even though it's got Sky Sports all over it. But hey-ho, that's a different thing. So just a few quotes from it, and it's well worth a watch if you do get sort of 10 minutes or so. So he was asked about, his contract on a slot, transfers and different bits. And he said for this one, I had a conversation with him before I renewed and also the beginning of the season. But I don't say, boss, we need that now. I admire him a lot because he's given me space to say my opinion and tell him what I see in the team. Of course, Arne Slot would want to make him feel valued. Of course he will, because obviously at the time, there was a contract renewal, especially wanting to get off to a good start. And part of Mo Salah's renewal will, of course, have been who's coming in, what are the plans? Are Liverpool going to match Mo Salah's ambitions? And by the way, have they so far? Yeah, it's still a few more things we all want. That's a different discussion. But you can tell, and you've heard it in various interviews, there is a connection, I would say, between Arne Slot and Mo Salah. These are the two bits I love even more, though. Love this. And this is almost for me. I don't mind at all that Andy Robbo is the captain. But this one, this is the quote from Salah. The motivation for me this season is a little bit different. Not just like individual anymore. Like individually, you feel you've done it all, to be fair. It's just a collective one is the most important thing. Just now, you really want the team to win the league. Leadership, ladies and gents. Elite mentality, ladies and gents. This is a guy who, I mean, we don't know if he's going to get the Ballon d'Or, of course, do we, from last season? But it was a mix of, I'll do my individual bit, I'll score all the goals, I'll get all the assists, and that will fire us to glory. Even this season, he's thinking about it from a different angle as a leader, helping the youngsters, helping the new players settle, which he talked about in the interview again. Honestly, well worth a sort of 10, 15 minutes of your time if you do get the chance. And yet, for all these quotes, it's this one that without doubt has, I would say, stoked the most controversy, but been the most focused on, and I understand why. He was asked about, the title and how he sees that picture this season. This was Mo Salah's response. Arsenal are favourites because they have a team that played together for 5 to 6 years, so they understand each other's game. When the team is stuck together, it becomes easier for them. Our team and City changing a lot of players, which is sometimes tricky. Now, this has fanned a lot of controversy because I've seen some people go, why is he saying that? Look at the money we've spent, the players we've got in. We should be favourite. I've seen the other side of it that, no, it's putting pressure on Arsenal because it may, calling them the favourite lumps it on them. All the pressure should be on them for the amount Lego head has spent over this period. I actually get both camps a little bit, but I do fall on the side of this just lumps pressure on Arsenal. And also, you can't just ignore the argument about Liverpool this season. And a few have made this, could possibly have just changed. It's not a small change, it's an overhaul of our squad. There's no other way of putting it this summer. Change like that can take time to fully integrate, can't it? And Arsenal, who maybe changed one or two, you've got to lump the pressure on for them. As James LFC 86 has put there, mind games by Salah. All here for it. All here for it. Lump the pressure onto Arsenal. But also, there is merit in the argument because you'll look at last season and think, General Richard Hughes was getting battered because we didn't sign anyone at all in the transfer window, bar Federico, who played about 10 minutes last season. Actually, that stability proved to be a positive. I don't mind Mo Salah saying this or doing this. Those were just 3 parts of the interview. Again, can't recommend it enough. Well worth a watch via Sky Sports. If you weren't such precious little bastards, you'd let me play the clip. But that is a different discussion. Sky Sports also spoke to Arne Slot. Of course they did, ahead of the Super Sunday to ramp it up. And Arne Slot was talking about various players, various new signings, 2 new signings, 1 existing one. So he's asked about Milos Kerkez. In both games, he's faced the biggest threat of the other team, as in Antoine Semenyo and Anthony Elanga. It's fair enough to say he's had a difficult start, but it's not from him. It's from us as a team. Couple of things with this one. There's merit to this, yeah? Semenyo is an absolute beast, scored 2 at Anfield. So that was always going to be tough. Elanga, whatever you say, rapid, isn't he? Any fullback's going to struggle to handle him. Also, the team across the board has largely not been playing well. So that all factors in, you've got to be fair. Did have the best of games against Bournemouth, but you could tell his debut maybe almost wanted it too much, was trying too hard, but does still dive in a lot at times. There is just that rashness to his game. Also, the thing that for me is getting a little bit ignored around Milos Kerkez, we thought we bought him to almost bomb on, be that roadrunner, get the ball in the box like he did for Bournemouth. But as we've seen so far, very much tucked in, isn't it? Different. I'm not wholly convinced it plays into his strengths at the same time as well. Maybe it's to provide that pace alongside VVD. Who knows? But I wouldn't mind Kerkez having a good game on Sunday. Tell you what, especially wouldn't mind this boy pulling his finger out on Sunday, because Arne Slot was asked about Ibu and he says he has things he can improve. But for him starting this season with a different fullback next to him probably is different as well. That will also improve the more we work together. There's more he's used to the right fullback next to him. And I suppose there may be some mitigation to that he's had Frimpong, he's had Szoboszlai at right back. So he's not had a settled player there, but that's got nothing to do with the mistakes he's made, just running backwards and let Semenyo kicking into a goal. That's got nothing to do with not jumping for Dan Burn and just looking, you have to be honest, all over the place at times. I don't really think that's any sort of defence. I just think it's fair to say Ibu has had a really poor start to the season. I don't think there's any need to dress it up and look at it differently. Naturally, I do think this is Arne Slot protecting his players somewhat. It is important to say, touch wood, Ibu normally has a good game against Arsenal. If you look at his history, it is a side he tends to do well against. They are a threat from set pieces as well. Yeah. God, if you could have a good game tomorrow, because you know he's going to play, that would be important. And the final one, the player we spoke about, Hugo Ekitike. And he said, he was asked about, and this is a reference from the press conference, isn't it? What could he improve? The most simple answer to what he can improve on is his match fitness. I expect him to do a lot more without the ball than already because he's already working hard. It's normal because he has to adjust from a different league, from a different playing style. Everyone's talking about Mark Gay and rivaling him in the chat panel. We will, of course, get to that, no doubt. But for Ekitike, 3 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. Some lovely goals as well, wasn't it? Great finish in off the post against Newcastle. A bit of composure against Bournemouth on the opening day. Yeah, a lot to like so far. I think he's right. Just, again, bit of link-up play, getting used to the Premier League. That will all come. But it has been a very promising start, hasn't it? So, yeah, everyone talking there. But I can see in the chat panel, you all want to know it, don't you? What is the transfer latest? What's going on? Everyone is naturally, like me, I am hoping again it kind of breaks while it's on the show. And I'm even trying to present and have a glance at my phone just to see what's going on. But what are the latest transfer stories? We will get to them one by one. This came up, didn't it, last night? Via the GOAT himself, Ekitike, linking us with Morgan Rogers. Now, it's interesting because me and Trev did the transfer show yesterday, and speaking to a few journalists, as we mentioned on the transfer show, there is that suggestion of someone saying, just keep an eye on Morgan Rogers. And I didn't like this, but not necessarily for definite for Liverpool. There's a few clubs have got their eye on Morgan Rogers. And I don't know if anyone saw it this morning. Villa had a weird bid that kind of, I don't know if it threw everyone. Lucas Paqueta from West Ham, a loan. Anyone clock that, but with an obligation. And, you know, people thought, okay, PSR, and where would Villa be getting that money from? And as Indy put, and is referenced in this article as well, there's a link to Harvey Elliott, isn't it? That he might have to go and could even be linked or part of that deal. So we'll have to see. It's getting very late in the day, people, for 2. Never mind for 3. I would love, absolutely adore if we got Morgan Rogers on top of this. But you look at the time now, it's pretty much midday on Saturday, the 30th of August. Monday, the 1st of September, it shuts. There's already a fair bit to do. Yeah, we will see. Maybe the last time we have to speak about Newcastle and their business. But they've actually got a freaking forward through the door. Now, don't give me a nonsense about this 8'9" Wolfgang beast plays 10 instead of 9 or anything. It's an attacking player through the door. And I'm not having either that this boy is a Callum Wilson replacement or anything like that. As it says, Wolfgang joins Newcastle, €85 million deal from Stuttgart, long-term contract. You're not paying that for a backup, are you? Especially Newcastle in that way. Yeah? So now this has been confirmed. We are all there. And I get people are telling me that David Ornstein right now on TNT is talking about Alexander Isak. Of course, you're going to see his comments and all those types of things. We're all waiting. Like that GIF, innit? What's that GIF on, you see, do something with the thing poking the stick. We're all the same. We're all waiting for this. Indy tweeted, the GOAT himself, didn't he? What time was this morning? Just after 9:15, saying, Captain Obvious here, but we'll submit official bid for Alexander Isak. The bid will be submitted today. The news will leak to the mainstream media within 24 to 48 hours. Now, this is not to be derogatory of the GOAT at all, but of course, it's going to leak within 24 to 48 hours because the window shuts on Monday. Yeah, 7 p.m. So that comes into the mix as well. But yeah, we will see on that. In terms of outgoings, this was a bit of a surprise story that came up today as well. AC Milan are eyeing a late move to sign Joe Gomez, According to Di Maurizio, putting it out there, Liverpool valued the defender in the region of 30 million earlier in the window. Now, a couple of things with this. For this to have a chance, and I'm not actually convinced this is real, so I'll just put that on the table first of all. But if there is anything to this, and there is some reality, Mark Gay would actually have to come through the door. Of course he would, to make this happen. But I like the idea of keeping Gomez around as almost a cover option. And I'm saying a cover option because we know his injury record and the lack of minutes. Yeah, he didn't play last season. Maybe that's the best way of putting it. However, as someone suggested to me earlier, if Liverpool have 4 centre-backs of Van Dijk, Konate, Gueye and Leone, all apart from Konate, who have excellent injury records. And also, I like Gomez say, forget he's due a testimonial, isn't he, by the end of this year? Crazy to say that, but can play across the back line as well. And I think Arne Slot is a fan. Yeah, with about 55 hours to go. Yeah, 55 hours roughly to go of the transfer window. I don't really see this happening. I mean, for what we know right now, speaking of Italy, Kostas Tsimikas is on a plane and headed to Rome. And info that we got at Anfield Index, because of the short time, he does actually, or he's already done part of his medical in Liverpool already, because Rome and Liverpool are so short of time, flying over to Rome to do the final parts. Yeah, I don't think Joe Gomez is going anywhere. But look at that. John Henry in the chat saying 25 million for Gomez plus, but he isn't covered. He's never fit. I don't think he's going anywhere. But we really won't have long to wait. And the main story, people. We all want it. We're all waiting for it. And you're all asking, has the bid been submitted? Not to our knowledge. Has he done his medical? And all these questions. We are all waiting like you. I mean, there are various rumours over social media that as we sit here right now, Alexander Isak is in the Merseyside region, not too far from Anfield, holed up at somewhere pretty swish, as is being suggested. We are all waiting for a, here we go, bid submitted, the dopamine hit, all those types of things. Yeah. As the Telegraph had yesterday evening, Liverpool expected to make the £130 million Alexander Isak bid. And that is the suggestion. That is the amount it's important to say at the same time. Like you. What's that Jack Johnson tune? Sitting, waiting, wishing. That's what we're going for. Almost. And then again, just feel like having a drink like Delia Smith. Do you remember that? Like, come on. Just, we're all waiting exactly the same. Alex Cook, who's had a very good summer for Talk Sport, interesting that he did a tweet last night saying, I won't be surprised at all if Isak to Liverpool gets done by Monday, but it won't be for as much as 130 million. I mean, anything under that would, of course, be absolutely brilliant in terms of where the market is and the yardstick right now. And then obviously you've got the natural hope of could there be another attacker on top of that, as many have mentioned. But again, it's the same stuff. Time is ticking. And people are mentioning what David Ornstein's saying on TNT. So Redmond76 put there, Ornstein said that Liverpool won't bid until given the green light. It's just rinse and repeat for the last month. I don't disagree with that. The story, the briefing is consistent, isn't it? That first bid's been rejected. Liverpool won't bid until they get the green light. All we think about is it's just a huge charade seems to be the thing being played out in public. But again, if we could just get on with it, that would be absolutely brilliant. Nothing dropping there. Few people mentioning Gay. I've mentioned Mark Gay in the chat panel. We'll have to see if he's in Palace's squad. They play tomorrow, don't they? However, interesting news that they are looking for another senior loan option. and I'm probably butchering this kid's name, but they have agreed a deal yesterday afternoon to sign French centre-back JD Canvo. So suggested that he will be Gay's long-term replacement and looking for another senior option. Sammy Mockbull on BBC Sport said that Newcastle, Crystal Palace are looking for two to let Mark Gay go as well. Isak and Gay. People, I'm on the countdown exactly the same as you. Genuinely, as I said at the start, I was hoping at the top of the show that the bomber, whatever you want to call it, would drop. We're all waiting. But while we're all waiting, it's easy to forget things are won on the pitch, and there is a Super Sunday game tomorrow. Yeah, top of the table clash. Got Arsenal first. That's a bit unusual to see, isn't it? But it's on goal difference. I'm not going to say I'm nervous for this one, but it just feels really big because Arsenal have made reinforcements that you thought, okay, Gyökeres, there's a big question mark around, but Eze, I think, is a good signing. Mountain Nonce comes into the mix as well. So people will argue, have they strengthened the areas where they really needed to? We know that, well, Lego head lies a bit, but from what we know, Bukayo Saka is out. So we know that. Martin Odegaard is touch and go and said we'll give him every chance to be ready, which probably means in Arteta speak, he is fit. And I've got to call out this comment. M&A guy, we don't need Isak, exclamation mark. To be honest, I'm just going to ban you from the chat just for that absolute nonsense in that regard. But Super Sunday, our lineup is going to be fascinating because Arne Slot did talk in the press conference. And the good news was Conor Bradley's back training and Alexis McAllister is back in training at exactly the same time. So I think you might be a little bit surprised of the line. Maybe you won't actually, Zach. I'll give you my predictions. Of course, it's Ali in goal. VVD, he's not been great, but Konate, yeah, will be with him. Right back, I think you're going to see Dominic Szoboszlai again. He was absolutely sensational against Newcastle the other day. And I'm just thinking that, it'll be similar. I do. I think he'll be right back. And then not had the best of starts, but Kirkes will be left back. I think it'll be the exact same back five that it was against Newcastle away. In the midfield, I think he'll be keen to get his normal double pivot of Grav and Maka back in as quick as possible. And even though I would like to see him more on the left-hand side, I really would have said that, the other week. I think Florian Wirtz will be the 10. Whether there's a bedding in process, and we all know Florian Wirtz's quality, it would be really, really good to see him have a good game here, wouldn't it? That is the midfield I think he'll do. Grav Maka, Wirtz as the 10, which by nature means that the forward line picks itself somewhat, doesn't it? Gakpo left, Salah right, Hugo Ekitike in the middle. That is genuinely how I think he will line up. I do think at times as well, you will see Szoboszlai inverting as well. This is a really tough game. And it feels big because Arsenal, yes, they were terrible at Old Trafford, but didn't concede. They were, Leeds were pretty hopeless. But Arsenal are scoring set-piece goals already. And that's where we're not doing too well, are we, defending those? I mean, 2 games gone, we've shipped 4. Look like we can score at any time, but we seem to be relying on individual brilliance or moments of individual brilliance. And set pieces, yeah. My heart is saying different to my head on this, people. My heart is actually predicting a 2-2 draw. Genuinely. That's what I'm thinking. Or is it? Yeah, that's what my head is predicting 2-2. My heart is obviously wanting Liverpool win, but a draw almost feels like a victory in a sense for them, because it'll be able to say, well, we've been to Old Trafford as Arsenal fans, we've been to Anfield, and we're still top of the league. Whereas if we win by hook or by crook, we'd be able to say, listen, we've got new players bedding in. We've not played particularly great, but we won. Saka is a big miss for them, and you don't wish ill on players. I am delighted he's out. Odegaard isn't really one that bothers me. In fact, I'm intrigued to see where he uses Eze when everyone is fit. But yeah, if you're asking me honestly, a draw. That is what I'm predicting, a 2-2. I want to be wrong, of course I do, but that is where my head is taking me. We will see what obviously unfolds tomorrow, 4:30. Before then as well, because it ain't happened while we're on the show, I am desperate to be jumping back on today, people. Let's just be crystal clear on that. I am desperate to be jumping on and saying something like, Liverpool looking at another attacker. That move's been made of some sorts, like a Morgan Rogers or someone. I am looking to be jumping on and saying that bid for Alexander Isak has finally landed and we're getting excited and things are starting to develop. I am looking to be able to say that. I am looking to be able to say that a move for Mark Gay is now materialising as well. Genuinely, I am looking for someone, whoever you are out there, to drop a reality bomber. Ornstein, Ramon, whoever. We all want these moves. And we're all noticing it because we're on a clock. It's 12 o'clock on Saturday. Monday again, 7 p.m. The transfer window shuts. Time is ticking, eh? If, importantly, you have got a bit of spare time before you aim for this bomber or anything else, look at this. An absolute orgy of content for you on YouTube. Look at this in the last 24 hours. You've got Dave talking about Elliot Badge in their situation. I mean, we didn't really even mention them too much. We'll see what happens. Me and Bart's ran the stats and the importance of Isak and Gay. I mean, in summary, we need them. We looked at the wide attackers and compared them, especially Rogers, Rodrigo. That seems dead a little bit. And Fofana. We looked at the link with Can Uzun at Frankfurt, who we'll get to see in the Champions League as well. So plenty for you there. Jan was talking to Trev about the Newcastle game and the Isak situation and everything else. Even the Champions League draw and previewing this one. Me and Trev, we had a few gremlins last night, but we managed to get a transfer show in the mix where we talked about everything we're hoping for. The Premier League latest moves, and there's some interesting stuff going on. And even Europe, as we said, Kostas Tsimikas, as we stand right now, he's on a plane to Rome, isn't he? So he will be moving on. So that is all in the last 24 hours alone for you. I know Scouted was out, so I know you'll have that to do. I'm not here doing Daily Red because I'm at Anfield tomorrow. So you've got Lewis, you probably know him, hipster lad, got the silly beard and everything, like got his own channel, fair play to him and all that. So he'll be covering Daily Red tomorrow. And of course, because it is a Super Sunday, you will have Raw afterwards with Dave, Trev, the normal boys. You will have Gags doing the show after. You will have Jack doing the watch along and all those bits. Right up to deadline day, we have got you 10,000% covered. Everyone's been working hard for you this summer. You can't deny it at all. Let's just hope by the time Monday, 7 p.m. comes, let's just hope at some point today, even any minute now, if I can wish it into existence, we get news on Gay, Isak, and everyone else. And there's always one smart ass, because Fireburn45 there says, stop panicking. Not panicking. We're all just waiting for it, aren't we, Fireburn? There is still time for this. We will see what develops. Hopefully, we get a bit of news today for you. But on Sunday, the 30th of August, with the clock ticking, that was another Daily Red for Anfield Index.